You're watching Channel 16, Stafford METV.
Hello and welcome to the September episode of Spartan Sports Central, our first episode of 2019-20. We have a great episode ahead for you. We welcome Stafford head football coach Ken Savanah, Stafford volleyball coach Ivana and Stafford cross-country coach Angel Maldonado. The player profile this month is Spartans Quarterback Cameron Peters. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right, so I know the results of these first few games haven't been what you wanted, but have you learned anything from them?
Well, we intentionally schedule up, I guess you say. All the programs we played have been 5A playoff programs. The Port Lavaca team was actually a regional finalist last year, and he's had 32 seniors back this year. So it was a daunting task to go up and play them, but we want to play teams that are going to make our level higher.
Okay, so what are some of the things you've learned specifically that you think will help you when district starts October 4th?
Oh, we've learned a lot, being that we've got a bunch of young kids. You know, people forget how many kids we graduated last year that have been playing for over 3 years. This group has to learn how to play physical. They have to learn what it takes to be a big-time team, and that's what we're in the process of learning.
Okay, so Belleville, the last couple of years, it was a defensive type of game. You beat them here 7-5 in
Right.
2017. Last year, you go up there, get that touchdown call
Right.
back right then. It's 7-6 loss.
Right.
And then 21-7. So the defense looked like they showed a lot of improvement last week.
Yeah, we're coming. Again, we've got 3 sophomores started on the D-line. We've got 2 players playing linebacker that hadn't played last year, 1 sophomore, 1 junior. And we're kind of aged in the back half of the defense, but you know, those guys are learning, and that's something that you can't teach. You can't teach game situations and game speed at practice. They have to learn it in a game, and they're learning. They're getting better. You know, Belleville was a 4-round team last year themselves, so you know they're always in the heat of things over there in the Division II.
So what's the outlook for the offense?
We're coming. You know, we've got a brand new quarterback. Kids got to learn how to play with each other. You know, none of these guys on offense, as far as the receiver group, have played together before. This is their first 3 games of the year. You know, and while you may have had success somewhere else, it takes a little minute for you to get things going when you get to a new team.
And then last year, I know St. Thomas came here. They won 27-20, but especially the defensive backfield, you know, gave their quarterback Matoka, who's now at University of Miami in Florida.
Right, he's vying
2 or
for
3
a spot.
2 or 3 interceptions against
Right.
him. Nobody really played him that tough. Now they have a new quarterback. What are your thoughts on, you know, going up to their place?
They're going to always have good talent. They do a real good job with their lower levels, so they just kind of, you know, they reload. They have kids graduating, they reload. They've got a kid now that actually was a JV kid last year, big, tall, 6'5" kid that throws the ball well. He doesn't move quite as well as Mataka, but he does throw a really good ball. And he's got some really good skill kids on the outside. So there'll be a challenge. I think we'll be ready for the challenge. It's just, you know, we're taking steps. We're growing as the preseason continues.
So you take a look at the rest of the district. You got Navasota was a favorite. They've lost their first 3 games. North Forest just won their first game of the season last week. They beat Washington. And you had Fur, surprising, and Fur and Worthing are 2-1 now. Wheatley lost a tough one, so they're 1-2. But how do you size up this district as you take a look at it?
Well, I still think it's going to be really, really competitive. I mean, we've got 2 weeks before we start district, and we're trying to get everything, taken care of, get everything in line. But I think our district will be really competitive. I got a chance to see Yates. I've laid eyes on Wheatley, and all of them are still very athletic. And Wheatley's got nice size up front. And the Yates program, they've got a coach in there that's a graduate from Yates, and those kids are playing with pride again. So it's going to be a nice district race. Okay.
So you have 4 kids that are committed to Division I universities between Cam Peters, UT San Antonio, Marcus Smith, SMU, Tabari Hawkins, UL Lafayette, and then of course there's Robert Wooten, University of Missouri. Do you think there'll be some more Division I commits?
I still think Sterling Riles will end up somewhere. Tyderick Anderson will end up somewhere, and then Will Perro will probably end up somewhere in this class, just off of the top.
Yeah.
Just guys that have shown interest in those guys, and they may haven't offered them yet, but they're watching them just to see how their season goes and see where they'll fit.
But as a 4A program, that's more Division I commits than many of the 5A and 6A programs across the city.
7 years ago when I got here, we knew one thing: we have talent at Stafford. It's just getting it all on the same page.
And speaking of that, I have to congratulate you, not necessarily as a coach, but also as a father, on your son at University of Houston. We'll talk about, tell the folks how he's doing over there.
Oh, he's doing good. He went to summer school. Yeah, got to play in the All-Star game early in the summer. Went to summer school second half. Did well in summer school. Started the summer camp, and he's been doing well. He's actually finding out what the grind of football is. Mm-hmm. He was given a bit of good news here the other day. Sunday, actually, he's going to travel with them to Tulane this week. So,
oh, awesome!
Maybe he'll get a chance to play a little bit. So.
And then you have Cameron Hill, another former player of yours, who had 2 sacks and a forced fumble in a 31-30 loss up at Central Arkansas. So it seems like Cameron's doing really well too.
Yeah, Cameron. We always knew Cameron would be good in the classroom and on the field, because he just works. I mean, the kid. He'll open up the gym, even when he comes home. He comes, and the first call he makes is, "Hey, Coach, can I get in the gym?"
And he's going to face on September 28th in San Antonio. He's going to face another former Spartan, Jarek Petrie, who's at Incarnate Word.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
we still got him sprinkled around. We got Petrie was here this past Friday. He's still playing at Baylor.
Yep.
We've got a couple of other kids still playing. I was really impressed. Caleb Hill, Cameron's brother, is playing at Alcorn
State, sure.
And Kobe Jordan up at Central Methodist made the travel squad.
Yeah, so a lot of kids enjoying a lot of success, and we really appreciate you talking about this year's team, and then Spartans of past years. Appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. All right.
All right, well, the next up is the player profile, Cameron Peters. Welcome back to the show. Cameron Peters is already committed to play college football at UT San Antonio. We look forward to seeing what he could do this year for Stafford.
Stafford High School football season is active in the new school year, and Spartan Sports Center recognizes Cameron Peters as the player profile of the month. Cameron plays quarterback and has brought in a positive leadership role to the Spartans.
One thing I knew before coming here was that this team needed leadership. And when I came here, that was really my role, is to be a leader on the offense and just the whole team overall.
With such a powerhouse team, we wonder, what is Cameron's expectations?
One expectation for me is to become a better person and a better man. And one expectation for my team is not listening to outside hype and playing to the best of our ability.
You know, when you're coaching kids that's really talented, one of the biggest things you have to do is stay on them about the little things. And he tends to take coaching well. The length of time that he's been with us, we stay on him about just the little things, doing the little things right, making sure He's making the right reads. He's making the proper steps, doing things that he's supposed to do to help him be more successful. Happy kid, always, when you see him, he's always got a smile on his face. He's singing. Tends to be extrovert with his teammates. He's one of a few around here that you kind of like being in a room with, because he's always cracking a joke or saying something, to make you laugh.
We're gonna have a lot of fun, and this being my last year, we're gonna work hard, but mainly have fun and spend a good time with, my brother. This sport has showed me how to persevere, and you have to persevere to be a man.
As a football player, he picks up offenses real well. He does a good job at knowing where his people should be in the offensive game plan. He also, again, like I said, he throws the ball well. He gets in a good rhythm. Once he's in rhythm, he's pretty good. Working on techniques, getting better. There's always opportunity to improve. And that's what we try to stress to him. The biggest thing for him now is learning his technique, consistently doing them the right way. Being a quarterback, you have to become a leader. What you tell the offense is what they're going to do, and if you don't believe it, then they won't believe it. And we have stressed that over and over to him, that he has to be the guy that steps up and tell them, hey, we're going to go score a touchdown. He has to make those guys believe. As far as a person, he's a well-rounded kid, but he works hard. I give him the fact that he puts in long hours, and he will work. He'll come up and work when people aren't working. When a normal kid goes home, he'll be up here working, doing things. Always wants to stay late, throw balls, and work with his receivers. So he puts in the time to help him be successful. We try to graduate a whole person when they leave here, and let them know that while football is an avenue, it's not the only avenue. That your academics is just as important, because at some point in time in this, you're not going to be able to play football. So what are you going to do once football is over with? And that's what we stress to all our guys when they leave here, is that, this is home. You're always welcome back here. But by the same token, when you leave, we want you to leave knowing that, I can do other things than just play football.
To be a Spartan is to be a leader. As for Cameron Peters, being a quarterback will allow his leadership qualities to lead his team to a winning future. Stafford METV, this is Ray Molano.
Thanks, Ray, for that segment. Cam Peters is a great student athlete. Next up is Stafford High volleyball coach Ivana Ellis. Coach Ellis is in her third season as head volleyball coach. The Lady Spartans have already eclipsed their win total from 2018. Welcome back to the show, Coach.
Thank you for having me again.
All right, so this has been kind of an exciting year for you guys. You got to host your alma mater, Galveston Ball.
Yes.
You got to host a tournament. And then you got to face your older sister, Gabriella, who's at Katie Morton Ranch. So
yes.
Tell me a little bit about the season so far.
The season so far has definitely been a work in progress, I'll say, to get us prepared for district. We've faced some really big schools. We're just a 4A school, and a lot of the competition we've had is 5A, 6A. But I've liked what I've seen, and I just look forward to accomplishing, hopefully that playoff spot.
So last year y'all won 2 games. They were both against Wharton High School, but now you have 3. I think it was Van Vleck.
Correct.
You beat them in a tournament, and then you beat Washington in a tournament, and then the Willow Ridge game as well. So you've already eclipsed that winning total. Have you seen the improvement from your players?
Most definitely, and I think the great thing about these girls is they have actually come up together, and kind of like under my coaching. I know my first 2 years, it was kind of bringing in a new style of coaching for the girls that were already under the previous coach, and I think the girls have just been a good reflection of me and what I've been asking of them from this program. Okay,
so we talked about some of your successes in last year as well as this year, but you have 2 road matches coming up. First, you go to Wharton, who you swept last year, and then you go to Royal, who you were close to defeating last year, came up short, but you have a coach now that's now actually both of your coaches had been at Royal at one point in time, but Karen, I believe her name,
Karen Graham, yes.
She was there last year, so I guess first of all talk about Wharton and then talk about going to Royal.
You know, Wharton, I actually admire that coach. She does a very great job with her girls. They're very sound every time we play them. So I'm just looking forward, hopefully, that, you know, we can get another sweep against them because, again, that'll help us, you know, reach our playoff goal. And then going into Brookshire, it's, you know, I've had Mark Spivey with me for the past 2 years, and I know for him it's always like a we must win game, and I understand that because, you know, here we are visiting a school you once coached at, and while you love that program, you know, you want success for the program you're in now.
Okay, and then for the folks watching at home, the next home match here is against Needville. That's on September 26th, and part of the reason is because we have the Fort Bend Fair. There's no school that day.
Correct.
Due to the Fort Bend Fair on the 27th, so we play on the 26th. We usually play Friday, but this will be a Thursday. I know Needville's a tough team, so talk about hosting them on the 26th.
I enjoy playing Needville. I mean, every time we play them, their coach compliments our girls and of how athletic they are and how much they fight. I remember, I believe it was my first year, she said that we were one of the teams that, you know, she's always worried about playing because of the girls that we have in our program. I'm hoping this year that, you know, we can beat them. If we do, that would be a great upset for us, you know, but even one set would be great because, like I said, Needville has a really great program. They're a program, you know, that usually goes into playoffs and, you know, quarterfinals, almost reaching state every year. So they're a good challenge.
Well, talk about your leadership on your team.
Well, for my players, I have Jayla Pratt, she's a senior, Kayla Alexander, and then Destiny Ugo. I'm sorry, Jayla, she is the captain. Kayla's our co-captain. They've been with our program for 4 years. Jayla's been on varsity for 3 years, and so has Kayla. So she's done a really good job in just communication for her team. If she sees me trying to relate something to the group and that they're not catching it, she, as a captain, goes and she reiterates that for me so they have a better understanding. And sometimes those things are needed because our kids are more acceptable when it comes from a peer.
And what about some of the underclassmen?
I'm really excited about the underclassmen. Right now, I only have 3 seniors and a junior on the varsity squad. So, you know, we'll have a ton of juniors next year, as well as sophomores. They're a good group of girls. They're an eager group to learn. And I just look forward to this success because I have 2 or 3 years left with these girls.
So as far as reaching the playoffs, you have to finish ahead of Royal, you have to finish ahead of Wharton, and then either probably Sealer or Ocampo, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you have a game, I believe it's, tell the folks a little bit about the Pink Out Night. I know that's going to be October the 8th, is that right?
Yes, I'm always excited for Pink Out Night. The month of October is very special to me. I know in previous interviews I've mentioned that I myself lost a cousin to breast cancer, so it's very important that I do this. It was something that was started before I became head coach, and I'm just trying to continue that tradition. The exciting thing is this year, the shirts I created, they also include our fellow sports like football and basketball. That way, it's a team effort in bringing awareness to you know, the breast cancer.
Okay, and that was an event last year that you guys did and brought a lot of awareness with that.
Because us, as well as the football team, they'll have a Pink Out Night. So, and I think it's very cool. Like, you'll see the football athletes, they'll have pink tape instead of the standard white tape, and they'll have pink cleats sometimes, and then our girls, they'll likely wear pink socks during their matches.
Okay. So, as far as any other goals that you have for this season?
You know, my first goal for the season, and always my goal, is to make it into playoffs. And once we get into playoffs, then it will be to reach, you know, the second, third round in playoffs.
Okay, and I know you guys are, if not this year, in future years, you're well on your way to that goal, so I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, next up is our interview with Stafford cross-country coach Angel Maldonado. Welcome back to the show. Coach Maldonado and the Spartans cross-country team have 2 upcoming trips to Corpus Christi. We'll talk about those meets and more during this segment. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, so you guys have got a chance to travel quite a bit. You've been to Galveston, Deer Park,
Yeah.
Belleville, I think, what was the other one, Brazelwood?
Brazelwood.
So you've been, you've definitely compiled some mileage here. Tell me about those meets thus far.
Yes, so I try to vary the terrain for the season. So this, we went to Galveston, of course, it's sand. The girls ran 4K, the boys ran a 4K as well. This past weekend we were at Deer Park, and there the girls varsity ran 3 miles, a 5K, the first 5K for the season. The boys they have been running those already, but overall I just try to put them in situations where it gets them better for the district meet. So that's coming up in October.
Okay, and that'll be at Royal, but we were talking about here in the intro and before we got on air, we were talking about you have 2 upcoming trips to Corpus Christi, which I know that'll make a lot of folks jealous with getting a chance to go down there and enjoy the weather and the beach, but of course it's more of a business trip for you.
Yes, so for me, this year, I hadn't done it before. They always have the UIO preview regional meet in Corpus, so around this time, and I haven't made it in the past years, but this year we decided to fundraise so we can get a team out there. So we were taking the boys varsity and varsity girls so they can get that preview to get them prepared for district and hopefully go back to race at Corpus.
Because it's coming up now, and then if you make it back, it'll be October 28th for the regional.
Yes, so it gives us time. So I want them to I want to place them in a situation where, mentally they're like, okay, well, this is what we're going to be competing in regional, and therefore gives them a motivation to try harder to get back to the actual regional meet where it counts.
And then sprinkled in that mix, you have another meet October 3rd, which is a special meet for you. Of course, you graduated from Stafford High School and you went on to graduate from HBU. You'll be going to HBU. That is also, the HBU meet on October 3rd is also probably the closest meet for any of your fans to attend.
Yes.
So talk about competing there.
HBU, they always have a meet. The last year I took the kids to go compete there. I love it there, just university feel there, and again, it's always great to go back to my alma mater and just kind of introduce kids to the people that I met in college. And so I mean, the loops that they do there at HBU are pretty hard, but they'll get a good preparation for, again, district.
And how much of your student athletes improved this year over last year?
Oh, I have several improvements. One on top of my head is Martin Flores. He was on JV last year. He's probably my number 1 or 2. He's coming in strong. He's improved quite a bit. He's shown tremendous commitment, tremendous, he's just working really hard. And so he has a spot on varsity. On the girls' side, of course, we got, some returners, Casey Riascos, Jacqueline Soto. We have Natalie Carvajal. She's been working pretty hard too to get, at that varsity level. So we, pretty hard workers.
And you're also the head coach for the girls soccer team. So I know you encourage a lot of the girls to, run on the cross country team as well.
Yeah. So some of the girls that are training with us are, primarily soccer girls, but have them train with us just because later on in the season I don't want to be focusing on just, getting in shape. Right now during cross country they are getting in shape, and so and when it comes to trials, those girls that do run cross country, you can tell who's been working out, in the fall semester.
Okay. So one of the things that a lot of these programs that you face, some of the, powerhouse programs around, and these kids are running like from, middle school at least all the way up. And an exciting development we have here is that we have a middle school program started, and the coach is no stranger to you. He's a former SMSD grad and also a younger sibling, Abel Maldonado. So talk about how Abel's been doing with that program.
Well, the news about having a middle school cross country program came to me because like late in August, we found out, then, and he was the man for the job, so he got the job, and we're starting to pick up these kids from middle school. We used to have a middle school program, but it was just just me and Sergio at the time. So this adding a third coach with the help of my assistant, Andrea Gutierrez, and my brother, we're trying to make our program bigger, and it starts there in middle school. So again, he's preparing those kids, and hopefully we can get them into a couple of meets before the season's over.
So how effective will that be to have that middle school pipeline into your high school program?
Well, like any middle school program, it helps develop those, those skills, those things, that desire to get better. I mean, that's adding 2 more years of them running versus not having those 2 extra years. And so, like my little brother, Abel, he ran in middle school and then he ran in high school. So that really helped that their soccer team, make it to the 4th round. So the benefits of running early on, it's pretty amazing because you get them longer and they have a chance to improve more years.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you being on the show, and I know you guys will have a great, successful rest of the season. These upcoming meets in Corpus Christi and HBU and the district meets. So we wish you the best of luck.
Thanks,
you. Coach.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for tuning into the show. We'll see you next month.
This program was produced on the Stafford campus of Houston Community College.